What's up, everybody? Kevin with Thor Cigar Vault. Welcome back to another week of Thor Cigar 101. Forget the basics. This week's topic, Cuban cigar myth. Cuban cigars, they're the best in the world. I've heard it a million times. I'm here today to tell you why that hasn't been true in a while. Look, I'm not here to disrespect Cuba by any means whatsoever. They were the absolute benchmark of the cigar industry for most of the 20th century. The reputation is real. The history is definitely real. However, reality and reputation don't necessarily age together. In 1962, the Cuban trade embargo was signed, which practically turned any Cuban cigar into a forbidden fruit here in the States. For a while, we ended up starting to treat forbidden like it meant best. And for a while, it absolutely did. However, countries like Nicaragua, the Dominican Republic, and Honduras, in some cases have had up to 60 years to really refine everything. That comes down to soil selection, fermentation, blending, and in this time period, a lot of the best rollers, growers, and blenders actually ended up leaving Cuba and brought that knowledge along with them to these other countries. So essentially, while Cuba's reputation kind of stayed frozen in time, everyone else caught up. Some would even say surpass them. Here's the part that really gets people. In most blind tastings where nobody knows which cigar is the Cuban cigar, they don't automatically win anymore, even close to always. So the discussion of who makes the best cigars in the world, when the cigar bans are off, this kind of becomes a lot shakier. So essentially, am I saying Cuban cigars are bad? Not necessarily. When they're good, they are great. But throughout most of the Cuban cigars that I've smoked over the past 4 or 5 years, a lot of them come with construction issues. A lot of them had draw issues. A lot of the wrappers are tore up on them. So I think Cuba has a severe quality control issue right now. On top of that, ongoing droughts have severely crippled their irrigation system. So now, fast forwarding to 2026, cigar exports coming out of Cuba have been cut in half since about 2018. Meanwhile, Nicaragua has become the biggest cigar exporter on the planet, exceeding Dominican Republic and Honduras combined. So to say today that Cubans are automatically the best, I think that's a very difficult claim to make versus what it was maybe 20 years ago. I personally believe with a lot of the advances that New World has made in their growing and their fermentation process, and absolutely in their blending, that it has surpassed Cuban cigars in a few different ways. I personally prefer a quality Nicaraguan or a quality Dominican cigar versus what I've gotten out of most of the Cuban cigars that I've had over the past 4 or 5 years. However, enough of me talking. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys prefer? Whether it's Cuban, Nicaraguan, Honduran, whatever. Let me know what you guys think. See you guys next week. Keep smoking.